Damn, I really needed caffeine. What's up, you guys? My name is Rita and welcome to my channel. Today I found out I actually have 4 gray hairs. I'm 26. If you're also going through it, feel free to let me know in the comments when did you get your first gray hair, because we're in this together. But I digress. Welcome to today's video. We're going to be unboxing and doing a look with the SHEGLAM X Care Bears collection. Now, I don't know about you, but Care Bears is actually my childhood. I watched it all more than once. Dare I say hundreds of times. Which is why this collection is so exciting to me. It's so nostalgic, and to me it honestly feels so well done. A lot of thought was put into it, which if you've seen the spoilers, then you'll know just how cool it looks. But before we get into the collection, there's something else that I got that I really need to show you. I got Care Bear hair clips. Shein's website actually has a whole collection of Care Bears, from clothing to makeup brushes to shoes, pillowcases. Like, I've seen it all. And when I found these, I knew that these would be the perfect complement to the rest of the collection. This is just the beginning and I'm already deceased with cuteness. This one is a nudie orange color, a lilac, a pink, and a blue, and they are so fuzzy. I need to put these on my hair right now. Tell me that these are not the most adorable thing ever. They're big, but I don't feel the weight on my scalp, which is a good thing. And it doesn't hurt. But even if it did, they're so cute, it's worth it. Also, I have this fur hoodie, which would be perfect for this video, and I've had it for years. It's from Primark, and I use it every winter. But it's so warm still, I cannot put this on, so just imagine that I'm wearing this throughout the video. Here's the PR box, and as you can see, it's got a bear. It honestly feels really velvety, like those matte palettes that don't have any texture to them. It's just soft. So in front, it's got the SHEGLAM and Care Bears logo and the name of the collection. And in the back, it's got all the details and ingredients of all the collection. I'm gonna open this really carefully to make sure that nothing falls, because it's not packed very tightly, but ta-da! So this is what it looks like on the inside, and it's got 2 compartments, it's not just one. It's got the lipsticks on the loose here, but it also has one of the blushes, the highlighter puff, the palette, and 2 of the eyeliners right here. And here's the second part where the rest of the things are. The 2 blushes, the other eyeliner, and the mirror, which we need to talk about. So let's actually start by this. Can we just take a moment to appreciate that everything in this collection, even the makeup, is furry. It's like literally so fluffy. Everything honestly feels like you're touching a plushie. You know, the kind of soft, warm fabric? That's exactly what this feels like. So this is the mirror. It's pink and fluffy. And this is the size of the mirror. It's actually not as small as I anticipated, so that's a good thing. But the one thing that I can say about it is that it's gonna get dirty really fast. You can only get this when you get the full collection set, so unfortunately it's not available to be sold separately. However, if you do want to get everything, this is an added bonus that they give you. Yeah, I mean, from a distance I can see my whole face. So even if it's small, you can still do your makeup with this. And of course I will be using this to test it out. Next up from the bottom, let's take a look at the blushes. So here's the first one. It's equally as fuzzy as the mirror, and I don't think I need to tell you that everything is gonna be fuzzy. So I'm not gonna mention the texture anymore, but just so you know, everything is the same texture. Because there's no shade name, they actually give you a card in the shape of a heart that tells you the name of the blush and also the ingredients. And this one is the shade Tickled Pink. The back is bare, no pun intended, and this is it on the inside. Here's a swatch of it. It's like a pink with hints of brown, kind of like a brownie nude. This one definitely looks a lot darker on the pictures online, and I thought that this was gonna be for deeper skin tones, but I can wear it. I already know I'm gonna like this color, but let's take a look at the other 2. Here's the pink one in the bottom in the shade Fabulous. It's a very pretty neon pink. And this is it on the inside, equally as vibrant. Here's a swatch of this one. It's definitely a lot more fuchsia. With the right makeup, surprisingly, I do like this type of shade. From the swatch, it does seem fairly pigmented, so even if we don't use it today, I'll definitely use this. And lastly, there's this one on the top here. This is the shade Thrill Seeker. The air is filled with fuzzy particles, so I'm sorry if you see them flying everywhere. It's gonna be inevitable in this video. Anyway, here's how it looks like. And this is it on the inside. This one seems to be like a very bright orange, which again, it's also very pretty with the right look, so I do also like to use these types of colors. Honestly, make anything into a blush color. I will probably wear it. If not outside of the house, inside. And this is all for the blushes. Now let's take a look at the eyeliners. This was the one on the bottom. It's in the shade True Heart, which I'm pretty sure is the white one. Oh yeah, it's definitely the white one. Again, just look at the packaging. It's freaking fuzzy. Oh my god, I need to shut up with this. But seriously, I've never seen an eyeliner like this. It looks so cool. So here's the tip of it. It seems to be a standard felt tip. And here's the swatch. It's not the most opaque white, but you can definitely see it. Maybe it's buildable. The second layer seems to have helped. So yeah, it's one of those that you need to build up. Hopefully it doesn't get crusty and it doesn't break. Next up we have the green one in the shade Lucky Day. And this is how it looks like. It's actually a much darker green than I was anticipating. As you can see, it's a lot darker than the fur color, but it's still a pretty green. I love colorful eyeliners, so I will definitely get use out of this. And lastly, we have the lilac one called Sweet as Sugar. I've always been a pink girl, and honestly, I used to not like this shade of lilac, but now I kind of love this shade. So I'm very excited to have this. This is how it looks like. And here's the swatch. Again, it's a lot darker than the fur color, but I still like the shade, so I'm definitely still gonna wear it. Next up, we have to talk about this, because this is, if I'm not mistaken, a dupe for the Fenty Beauty highlighter puff that they had a few years ago. This is it on the inside. I haven't seen it in a while, so I don't remember how close it looks to Fenty's, but it definitely seems like a similar color at least. I remember that the internet went crazy for this and I didn't get it because, I don't know, it seemed a little bit gimmicky, like it's just powdered glitter. At least hers was. I don't know about this, but if this is the same thing, it's gonna be fun to try, but I can see myself wearing this on a regular basis. Anyway, if I remember correctly, you had to tap until glitter came out of this part. So I see very, very, very small chunks, but nothing crazy, so let's keep tapping. Yeah, I mean, glitter is definitely coming out, but I don't know if this is supposed to be all of it. Because, like, I've done this 50 times, and it's not enough glitter to be seen. Okay, I've done this for like 2 minutes, and I hope that you can see that there's a tiny bit of glitter on my arm. But if you can't, it is there, but it's nothing too crazy, honestly. It's not that noticeable from where I'm standing. I checked, but this doesn't have any use instructions, so I'm not entirely sure if I'm doing anything wrong. But yeah, not as much came out. It was just a wash of glitter. It also says it can be used in the face, but I honestly cannot imagine myself doing this every day. Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's definitely gimmicky, and I can see myself doing this every day because it amounts to basically nothing. But it was fun to try. Next up, we have this adorable blue pouch. Here's a close-up. It's got a little zipper in the shape of a heart. It's so cute. And a little chain, which I can imagine is for you to hook into something like your backpack. Inside, there's 3 liquid lipsticks. The middle one is a gloss, and then the other 2 are matte. And there's actually a place for them to be put in. I'm sure you could put in anything that fits, and you don't really need to use this for the liquid lipsticks because there's still space inside for you to put things. Not a lot, but even if you don't use it for the lipsticks, you can definitely put stuff here, even if not a lot fits. Okay, first up, I'm gonna be showing you the gloss. This is the shade Get Your Shine On. It's clear with very microfine glitters of silver and gold. Definitely sparkly, definitely the type of gloss that I like. Also, I'm glad that these are small because as someone that has a lot of liquid lipsticks, I definitely will never get through this. So this way, less product gets wasted. The doe foot is one of those that's slanted, and it's also got a little hole that holds the product inside, which means that you don't have to keep dipping. Here's a swatch on bare lips. It also tastes like something fruity, but I can't pinpoint what it is. Next up, we have the first matte, which is in the shade Love A Lot. I really suck at describing colors sometimes, but this looks like an apricot orange. I like this shade and it's drying down. Here's a swatch of it on the lips, and honestly, it still tastes the same, but it smells like something from my childhood that I cannot pinpoint the source of, but it feels so familiar. I have no idea what it is. It's quite of a vibrant color, and I think that with the right look, I can pull it off. And lastly, here's the shade Perfect Harmony. It almost looks like the Loves a Lot shade, but it's got redder undertones rather than orange. And here it is on the lips. It's a slightly more wearable shade for every day, but it's still quite vibrant. And lastly in the collection, we have the palette, which is called Share Your Care. Here it is up close. Again, nothing on the back. And here it is inside. The matte shades all have bare faces. The shimmers don't, but they're very interesting to look at, especially these bottom two. We're gonna start with the eyes. Looking at this palette, I think I'm gonna be doing a similar look to last time, though the others were more pastel and these are more bright. This palette is actually pretty close in tone to last week's video, so I'm gonna probably be doing a similar look. Firstly, I'm taking the shade Belly Badge and I'm adding it on my inner corner. Now I'm taking the shade Sweetness and adding it on the middle part. And I'm going to be using the shade Starlight on the outer corner. The pink and the purple were quite pigmented, but this blue needs a bit of work. And this is the overall shape. For the lid on the outer corner, I'm going to be adding the shimmer Shine On. This shade almost looks wet on the eye. In the middle, I'm going to be adding the shade Peace, Love and Hugs. It gives the same effect, but with a slightly different hue. And for the inner corner, I'm going to be taking the shade Lovable Grump. I like it so far. For the inner part of my bottom lid, I'm going to be using the shade Oh Happy Day. This shade has got a slight shimmer, but it's basically matte. It's not showing up that well, but it's a yellow, so I'm not surprised. It would show up better on top of a white base. And for the outer part, I'm going to be using the shade Friendship Counts. I wish the yellow was a little bit more vibrant, but the orange makes up for it. Right here in the middle, just for some glitter, I'm going to be using the shade Night Owl, which is this green one. That's it for the eyeshadows, and for the liner, I'm going to be using the white shade. Now, I've never done eyeliner on camera, and I suck at it usually, so I don't know how this is going to go. But let's go for it. I've created a small wing. It was relatively easy to use. It took me 2 minutes. Like I thought, it's not the most opaque eyeliner in the world, but it did its job. To test the other ones, I'm just going to draw some shapes. I'll do something different with the green on the other eye, but I did a heart on this one. And this eyeliner was also easy to use. Alright, I'm going to finish the eyes off camera and I'm going to come back to try the blushes. I finished the eyes. On this side, I've done some sort of a wonky star. I tried to do it like 3 times. It didn't happen, so I just left it. You can kind of tell it's a star, right? All eyeliners were easy to use. The only thing I wish was that the pen didn't have a felt tip, because I don't really like it as much as a brush tip. But now that we're done, let's move on to the blushes. I think I'm gonna go for this more fuchsia one because I think it's gonna match the eyes better. Going to apply it on the apples of my cheeks and on my nose. Just as I thought, it is quite pigmented, so you do have to be careful with it. I'm going to use the puff again to try to add some highlight. Because the eyes are quite vibrant and I don't want everything to clash, I've applied a neutral lip liner and I'm going to be using solely the gloss. And this is the finished look. Alright guys, final thoughts. This collection was so fun. I've sat here for hours just looking at it, playing with everything, and for that alone I would say that this is worth it. In euros, this collection was originally $47.99, but I used a discount and I paid $40.79 for it. Even without the discount, I would say that I would pay full value for it because it's still comparatively cheap compared to most brands. And for the price, I would say that the things really do have quality. They're thought through. They always have cute designs and they're always like an experience for me. It's not just one thing, it's many for you to be entertained. So for that alone, I would buy the full collection again. SHEGLAM usually nails their collections and I buy most of them for that reason. Regarding the palette, the mattes worked well. They're not super pigmented right off the bat, but it's their usual formula. The yellow was the one that disappointed me the most, but yellows are usually typically tough to work with and also tough to formulate, so I do understand, and like I said, with the white base they would pop more, but everything else was super fun to play with, and we got to this, so I'm very happy to have this palette and I will definitely use it more. This blush, like you saw, was super pigmented and it was easy to blend out, which means that it's easy to fix if you end up adding too much. I'm sure the other two are equally as good, so I would also repurchase these. The liners are not my favorite, but they definitely did the job. You can definitely still achieve the looks you want with these. So for that reason, I would purchase these also. Just bear in mind that they might not be the most opaque ones. This little highlight puff, I mean, I never thought I would try something like this, so for that alone, it was really fun. But like I said, it's gimmicky because not a lot of glitter comes out. Do you see anything on my palm? Because I can barely see fine glitter. So this is not a full-blown highlight, it's more like a hint of glitter, something that would show up in the sunlight ever so slightly, but not enough to be considered a highlight. And lastly, the liquid lipsticks were worth it also. The mattes are opaque, and the gloss, although I don't use gloss usually, I did enjoy this gloss because it's not sticky and it's actually a thin formula, which I appreciate. And I will give the other colors a chance. Alright you guys, that's it for the collection. Thank you so much for watching. If you like these type of videos, please leave a like and subscribe because it really does help me out. And I hope you had as much fun watching this as I did doing it. Please stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!